Another area of the limited liability company form that's important, but nobody gives any thought to, is the statutory agent designation. This is the agent designation so that the law has a person that can be served with process if the entity needs to be sued or served for whatever reason. I like to tell clients, this is something you ought to think about, and I always think of the pastor starting up a local church example, who decides he's gonna go incorporate the church and name himself as a statutory agent. And thought is, do you, as the pastor, want to be served on Sunday morning while you're delivering a sermon with service of process? And of course, the answer is no, but they never really thought about that. To what extent do you think it's important to think through statutory agent for real estate investors on when they set up an entity?
I think it's very important and often overlooked. A lot of times the person creating the LLC will say, well, I'll just be the stat agent. Well, that's fine. You can, no problem with that. But what happens when your real estate business takes off? You're like, well, I can move, I can buy a better house, right? And so you move, it's all great and whatever. Well, let's say that your LLC is being sued and they go to serve it and they show up at your old address because you didn't update it, right? You didn't update your address with the Corporation Commission. They go knock on the door at the old address and like, oh yeah, so-and-so doesn't live here. We've moved in a couple of years back. I have no clue where they're at. Well, the plaintiff doesn't have a duty to try to track you down. At that point, you haven't updated your address as statutory agent with the Corporation Commission. So guess what they get to do? They get to march down to the Arizona Corporation Commission, waltz on into their offices and say, hey, I'm serving this LLC through you. And they give it to an somebody there at the Corporation Commission at the window. They give it to them and they say, oh, okay, thank you. And now you've served the LLC. Well, what's the Corporation Commission going to do? They're going to send it to the address.
The same bad address.
The same bad address. And then you never receive it. You don't even know. And then all of a sudden a default judgment's entered and you come back and you say, wait a minute, a default judgment's been entered against this LLC. I never knew about it. Oh yeah, you did. Because the corporation was served on your behalf because you didn't update your address. And guess what? That's a good service